From a base coat of lead Belcher spray, paint the entirety of the armour with Black Legion contrast paint. This will make the armour almost pure black, but give it kind of a metallic sheen underneath. Pick out all the metallic trim areas with iron hand steel. There's a lot of areas to pick out here. As you watch the video, you'll see the varying elements that get picked out. You can try to avoid painting these initially with the contrast paint, but to be honest, you might be as quick just to contrast the entire thing with Black Legion and then pick the details out afterwards. In things like the fine detail on the back of the backpack and on any of the ribbing, you're probably again better off just kind of doing it as a kind of a rough dry brush so that you're covering some of the areas with the paint and not needing to recess shade at a later stage. Paint the undersuit in Mechanicus Standard Grey. Shade the metallic areas with Nuln Oil. This is all of the metal trim on the armour, and you can do the entirety of the gun at this stage. The main part of the casing will end up being red, but this will actually help the paint adhere to the gun, whereas over pure metallic some of the paints have a hard time adhering. Also shade the undersuit with this colour. Paint the gun casing on Mephiston Red, just taking care not to paint over the areas that are to remain a metallic colour. The red check pattern, start by sketching out the check pattern on the area that you wish, in this case on the left knee pad, using Tane Mephiston Red. Then fill in the boxes alternating with red and black. I found the kind of easiest way to think of approaching this is to paint from the centre and then kind of almost push the paint to the edge when you can. And this will definitely take multiple thin coats because you don't want to come in too thick. The thicker the paint, the more difficult any overspill will be to correct. For the white check pattern, use the same approach, but use the colour Eshin Grey to do the initial sketch. And as before, you fill in the boxes alternating, in this case with Corax White. White paints in general, and particularly Games Workshop white paints, just have difficulty covering over black, so you're going to need multiple layers. And just make sure for the majority of the painting you're painting well within the lines and then just pushing the paint out to the very edges. Edge highlight the gun casing with Wild Rider Red. Pick out the sharpest corners and any of the rivets on the gun then with Fire Dragon Bright. Edge highlight the black armour with Iron Hand Steel. This is a bit different from most of the Horus Heresy I've done where the edge highlights have been with acrylic paint, but I found the approach to the Dark Angels, just to make them a bit different, was to go with an overall kind of metallic approach, which is why the initial colour was a shade over lead Belcher. I find edge highlighting with metallics actually quite difficult, so don't be afraid if you have lines that are too thick or overspill, just to go over them with Black Legion, maybe one or two thin layers, just to knock them back a little bit. I've done it several times in this example. Highlight the silver areas, namely on the gun casing and on the armour, with Stormhost Silver. For the eyes, start by covering the entirety of the lens with Mephiston Red, just avoiding the paint pushing into the corners of the eye lenses. Paint the front 2/3 of the lens with Evil Sunz Scarlet. Paint the front 1/3 with Fire Dragon Bright. Very front of the lens with Yriel Yellow. Dot the back of the lens with White Scar to complete the effect. And this is the finished result. If you like this video, feel free to check out the channel where I have numerous other tutorials, in particular on other legions of the Horus Heresy, and if you like the content, please consider subscribing.